guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video we'll be doing this church flyer design in Corel. Okay, so without any further delay, let's go into the video proper. If you are a new subscriber, please consider subscribing to this channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. So we'll click on our new document to create a new document, or you go to file, click on new to create a new document. Okay, so now we'll rename our document to church flyer. All right, so we check every other thing is okay. Paper size A6, width, the measurement is in inches, and we'll click OK. Orientation, landscape. All right, so now the first thing we want to do here is, this is our workable environment. The first thing we want to do here is we'll import the images we'll be using for this design. Okay, so Control I for shortcut, or you can go to file and click on import, Control I for shortcut. Okay, all the resources I'll be using for this design will be in the description below. So the first thing I want to do is I'll locate where my resources are, my images and everything I'll be needing for this design. So I think they're here. All right, so I'll just click on them. I'll hold my control down and click on the ones I'll be using. All right, okay, I just hold down my control and click on them. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I think all right, so these are the image I'll be using. I'll click on import. I'll hold down my mouse and drag. Okay, hold and drag, 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 hold and drag until you have the cursor, meaning your images are already done. Okay, now I have my cursor here. Okay, so I'll just bring these images down here. Okay, so before now I already typed my document in Microsoft Word. My informations I'll be needing for this, I already typed them in Microsoft Word, and I already give them the font I'll be needing. So what I'll be doing here is I'll be telling you the font name I used for each of the informations. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to double click on my rectangle tool to create a rectangle over my workable environment. So I'll just go to 10% black here and show you that there's a rectangle here. So I'll remove the outline by clicking this slash, right clicking on the slash, and that is for that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to organize the ministers for this program. Before bringing any information, I want to organize every minister. So this is the first minister. I'll drop this guy here, and I'll bring this other guy here. Okay, so don't worry, I will zoom it out so that you can see that clearly. Okay, don't worry. All right, so I'll be putting this one here and this guy, this lady here. Okay, so I will zoom them out, and that's for that. Okay, I actually have an AI application I'll be revealing in the end of this video on how I use in clearing the image. There's an AI application actually I used in making this image very sharp. Okay, there's an AI application I used for that. These images were initially very blur. You can't even look at them. When looking at this picture, you can see that this guy took this picture from a far distance. So I had to use the AI application to review the face very well so I can work with it in this design, because it seems like this is the only image they have of this minister. I actually asked my client to give me another image, and he said he does not have another image of this minister. Okay, so I'll be using that image for him. Okay, so I'll zoom this out this way and I'll place it here. The guy's chest is even open, so I'll just use another minister to cover it. Okay, so I'll bring this minister down here so I can, okay, let me zoom this up a little bit to make the head a little equivalent to them. All right, so I'll just bring this minister down here to cover the chest a little bit. Okay, so I just hope they don't notice that that's the reason I did that. All right, and this is just cool. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is, I think I should bring this up a little bit. Okay, So I'll bring this other minister here. Sorry for that. I'll reduce, scale it down, and I'll bring this here, and I'll reduce it a little bit. Reduce the guy a little bit. Okay. Now you can just walk over your old images like this to make it look okay. So I'll be leaving all the resource in this design in the description below. I don't do that normally, but just for this design I'm gonna leave it so you can just practice on your own. So there'll be a time I'll just still remove the resource from the description also, so you can just download it. If this is for my new subscribers, you can download the resources and use it for practice purpose only. Okay, so now I will increase this lady here so I can get a perfect scaling of the head. All right, I think it's okay this way. So I'll page it down, control page down, control page down to page down. Okay, so I'll bring this lady over here, and that is quite okay. Let me scale this up a little bit up, and that's just cool. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to, okay, I think this guy is a little bit too down. Okay, you can just arrange just the way I did mine if you feel how I did mine is okay. So the next thing I want to do is I want to, okay, this image is way too big, so I'll just use my shape tool to just, it doesn't really matter because I'll be needing this other part. You'll see it later. Okay, so I'll just highlight everything here, and what I'll do is I'll group it, and I'll convert it to bitmap, convert to bitmap. The reason why I'm converting it to bitmap because I want it to be, yeah, an image. I want this whole pictures to be an image. Don't want to just group it. So resolution, I'll use 600 to keep the depth like this. Okay, and now this whole images are one. They are grouped together and they are bitmap. They are just one picture right now. So I'll just click on my transparency tool, and this is my transparency tool. I'll hold my shift and click here and drag down, and that is for that. Okay, so I'll just bring it up a little bit and scale this way. This is actually what I want. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to scale this up. Okay, it should be there. Sorry for that. Okay, now my ministers are all set. Okay, so let me scale this up a little bit. My ministers are all set. Okay, let me bring the pastor here. So I'll scale this up a little bit. I think I did a little of an effect in this place. Okay, so this is the pastor. So I will click on my ellipse tool. I'll hold my control to give it a perfect circle over here. All right, so I'll just click on my pastor, hold my alternate to click on the pastor. I'll just power clip the pastor inside the ellipse. Okay, so I'll click my alternate, I'll hold my alternate and click on the pastor, and I'll scale it up this way. I'll scale it up this way. Don't mind that. Okay, don't mind that. I'll scale it up this way. Remember, I clicked on my alternate to make this possible. Okay, so now I think this is just cool for me. Let me scale this up a little bit, and that's fine. So I'll hit my Control C and Control Z. Okay, I'll hit my Control C and Control V to copy and paste it at the same position. So I'll click on my shape tool here, and I'll hold this edge and drag it inside the circle. I'll hold this other edge and drag it inside the circle, so you can see the effect I got here. And this is it. So I'll just click on it, highlight both, I'll group it together so I can move it without stress. So I'll just give it a white color, white background. I'll give it outline white, and this is exactly what I wanted. Okay, so I'll scale this past up here a little bit, and I think I should reduce it a little bit, and this is just fine. Okay, so it's still too big, and I think that's almost okay with me. Almost, that's fine. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring my text effect, my yada. Okay, this is my text effect. I downloaded this text effect online, so I use my Photoshop to work over it to give it any text I want to use. I downloaded this text effect online. I'll also put it in the description below. I'll put it in the description below. So this is, let me just run a quick review. This is Photoshop. I actually designed this in Photoshop using the text effect. So you just double click on the effect change here, and you can change the name which you want the effect to carry. So I can just put yeah. Okay, let me just put yeah, YA. Okay, I'll just save it and I'll wait for it to process. So this is a processing state. Okay, it will process and actually come out where. So I'll just come here and just come over here, and you see yeah, YAH is already there. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to go to my workable environment again and scale this up and scale this up a little bit, and this is it. Okay, so now I'll reduce this. I'll Control C. Okay, before that, let me bring this to the left hand side. I'll Control C and Control V. Okay, so I'll just click on my shape tool and drag it to the D. There's something I want to do there. I'll drag it to this D here. I'll just bring this up a little bit here, and bring this up a little bit here, and bring this down here. So don't worry, everything is gonna make sense soon. So now remember, we have two images here because I actually Control C and Control D. Okay, so I'll bring this my drum, talking drum, and I'll place it over here. You see now, so this, the former one is down and the earlier one is up. Okay, so I'll just scale this drum here and I'll bring it down a little bit, I think so. And this is exactly how I wanted it to look like. Okay, so I can just click my shape tool and bring this down here because I actually want this effect to only happen to the D. Okay, it looks as if the drum is beneath them. Okay, so now this is actually the effect I wanted. Okay, so let me bring this down a little bit to give it a little bit. Okay, let me bring this here. All right. Okay, so this is for that. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring my 22. I also use that same effect for this 22. Okay, so I'll bring this down and I'll bring this down here. Okay, so I'll scale this and drop it down this way. All right, so let me bring this up, and it's perfect this way. So the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in my logo, my church logo. I will drop the church logo here and I'll scale it down a little bit, and this is just cool. All right, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in this image here. I'll scale it up a little bit and I'll power clip it inside the workable environment. I'll hold my alternate and click on it. I'll just click on it and click on edit power clip, and I'll edit this power clip here. I'll bring it down here and I'll scale it this way until I get what I actually want for this design. Okay, so I'll bring this here this way, and that's cool for me. I'll shoot it up a little bit. Alright, so I'll just go to my transparency tool and I'll transparency it down this way, and that is cool for me. I'll go to my normal, I'll give it an overlay, and I'll click on finish, and that is just for that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I think I should increase the size of this image. So I'll just click on the size and I'll increase the size of this image this way. Okay, it looks cool like this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring in my informations from Microsoft Word. I'll copy, and I'll go to Corel Draw. I'll click on my alphabet tool. I'll draw a box with it. I'll Ctrl V to paste them. I'll maintain the same fonting, and this is that. Okay, so I'll just click on the informations and start copying them. So this is my living fate. Ctrl X. I'll just cut them down and I'll paste it here. Ctrl V. Okay, so I'll just give it a font size 8. I'll give it a trebuchet. The font name I'll be using there is called trebuchet. So I'll click OK, and that is for that. I'll click on my, okay, let me zoom it out. I'll click on my shape. I'll give it a bold. Click on my shape tool and I'll reduce the spacing, and this is just okay with me. Alright, so I'll just bring it down a little bit. I'll give it a white color, and to reveal it I'll just give it a shadow, a little shadow, and it's cool. Don't worry, to make sense later. Alright, so that is for that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is my presents. I'll bring my presents inside that area. Ctrl X, and I'll click my alphabet tool here. Ctrl V to paste it down here. So I'll just give it a font name called Taken by Vulture. Okay, I'll scale this up a little bit, and I'm okay with it this way. So I'll just bring it to yeah. Okay, this is just okay for me. Okay, and I'm fine with it this way. I'll give it a white color also, and I'll give it a shadow. Okay, I think I love shadow so much. I've noticed that over the years. Okay, so now the next thing I want to do is I want to bring my text. Okay, let me bring season 1 also first. Season 1, Ctrl X, cut it out, and I'll paste it here. Season 1, Ctrl V, season 1.0. Okay, so I'll just scale this up. I'll be using trebuchet also, and I'll give it a bold, and I'll give it a very dark color, 100% black, and I'll scale it up this way, and I'll draw a rectangle over here like this, and I'll give it a deep yellow color. And I'll remove the outline. Okay, no, I'll give it an outline also. I'll double click on it, and I'll shift it down this way, okay, until it fits the H, and I think I'm okay with it this way. Alright, so I'll put my season 1.0 inside the rectangle I drew now, and I'll page it up. Ctrl page up to page it up. So I'll scale it up a little bit so you can see it clearly, and that is just cool. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring my width so refiner. Okay, Okay, let me remove this here. 2020, I'm already done with that. Okay, my text, Ctrl X. I think I should put it down here. Ctrl V, zoom it out. Treble chat also. Treble chat. Okay, so I'll give it 100% black and I'll draw a rectangle over here so that I can reveal what is there. I'll give it a white color. I think so. Remove the outline, page down, control page down, and you can see that is just cool. Alright, so I'll bring this up a little bit and I'll reduce the size of the rectangle. You can work over your own also and play around it and you get it right. Okay, so I'll bring my praise and worship concert down there. Praise and worship concert. Okay, Ctrl X, cut it, and you come here, you paste it down there. Ctrl V, you paste it. I think I should cut this concert down and align it to the center. Okay, so this is how I want it. I'll be using treble chat also. Treble chat. Okay, I'll bring this down here. And this is just okay with me. I'll reduce the sizing and that is cool. So I'll give it a white color and as usual, let me reduce this. As usual, I'll give it a shadow to reveal it. Alright, so I'll give it a shadow to reveal it. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I'll bring my width so refiners down there with so refiners. Okay, let me just with so refiners, Ctrl X, cut it out and you bring it down here, click on it with so refiners. Okay, so I'll be giving the width taken by voucher, the font name taken by voucher, and that is, I'll cut it out, Ctrl X, and I'll paste it here. Okay, so with so refiners should be here. Okay, refiners should be here. Okay, so I'll use a font name for this. I think I should use a font name called Southern Area for now. Okay, so I'll give a white color. I'll reveal it so it can be strong by giving it an a shadow. You understand? So I'll give the so refiners a shadow also. Okay, and I will change it color to white and I'll bring the shadow outside and this shadow should be like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is okay, I think we're getting this right. Bring my ministers down a little bit. Okay, so now I'll bring a white rectangle over this place and this is where I'll be adding some informations. So I'll just click on power clip and power clip it inside my designs. Okay, so I'll be adding this featuring and the location featuring. Okay, so I'll just Ctrl X and Ctrl V, and that is for that. So Ctrl X, sorry, Ctrl V. Okay, so I'll bring this down here. I think I should reduce the size of that to, let's say, 10 or 9 should be better. 9, and this should be 9 also. If that is 9, this one should be 9 also. Okay, so I'll be removing the featuring featuring. Ctrl X. I'll zoom this down here. Okay, paste. Ctrl V, and I'll be using trebuchet if I want to, and I want to. So I'll be using trebuchet for it. Featuring should be here, and I want to give it a white color. Why white? I love white so much. Okay, to reveal it, I'll just give it a rectangle, and I'll give it a red color. For the first time, I actually use neon red. Okay, so I'll just use neon red for this, and I'll page it down to reveal the featuring. Okay, so I'll just shift it this way, and that is just cool with me. Okay, so I'll use trebuchet also for this trebuchet, and I'll give it a bold. Okay, I'll give it black, and I'll click on my shape tool, and I'll reduce the spacing, and that is just cool. So I'll shift it down a little bit to make it look better. Alright, that is for that. So this is actually the address. So I'll bring this down this way. I think this is way too big also. So I'll reduce it to, let's say, 8. And if that's going to 8, this also goes to 8. Okay, so I'll give it a darker color, and it stays here. Okay, now that is for that. Okay, so I'll bring the date. Okay, LFC. Okay, this should come. Living Faith Church. Ctrl C. Okay, that should come here, I think. Okay, Ctrl V, and I should give it a dark color to reveal it. Okay, and this is just cool. Okay, Living Faith Church, Uroka, and it's fine. So I'll look for a location icon. So by clicking my Ctrl F11, Ctrl F11, press my Ctrl F11, I'll look for webbings, webdings. Okay, so I'll look for my webdings, and I'll locate the entire font in webdings, and I'll look for a location icon there. Okay, takes a little time, but I think I'll see it. Okay, let me take it down a little bit slowly. This is actually a font I installed a time ago. I never know why I installed it, but now it's starting to make sense. Okay, I've not seen my location. Okay, I've seen it. So I'll be using this location icon. I'll just copy. I can just double click on it, and it's there. I'll just remove it. After double clicking on it, you find it in the design. It's here. So I'll just drop this here. Okay, and it look okay for my location. This is what I've been using for location ever since I found out about webbings. Love this for location, and that is for that. So the next thing I want to do is I want to give it a little color. Let me just give it a little color. I think I should give it a purple color. I think, where is purple? Is this purple? Okay, this should be purple. So I'll just give it a purple color. Wow, this is very bad. Should I say bad? It's not bad. So I'll just reduce it by clicking on white. Okay. Okay. So this is okay with me. Alright, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring my guest ministers, the name of my guest ministers. Don't worry, with time we'll change the color. Okay. So these are the names of my guest ministers. So I'll just Ctrl X, and I think I should shift this down this way. I'll Ctrl V. Okay, so these are my guest ministers, and I'll reduce the font to, let's say, 6. 6 is okay, and I'll be using trebuchet for them. Trebuchet. Okay, so this is this. I'll Control K to cut apart. So this is for this minister. I think I should still reduce it to, let's say, 5. Okay, I'll be using 5. That's for that. Okay, guest minister. You can reduce it. It's a guest minister, and this is for 5. This is for this. Alright. I'll click on my shape tool and reduce it also. Guest minister, and my last guest minister, I'll bring it down here. I'll give it 5 also, and I'll reduce the spacing. Click on shape tool and reduce the spacing also, and that's just fine here. And I'll bring this guest minister here. The font should be 5 also. My alphabet, and I'll reduce the spacing. Click on my shape tool and I'll reduce the spacing also. So we're almost done here. So the next thing we want to do is, okay, this one here, 5, and bring it down, reduce the spacing, and that is for that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is okay, let me bring this here. I want to change the color of these ministers to white, and I'll give it a shadow. Also, I'll give all a shadow. Okay, so I think the shadow will reveal it a little bit, and I'm okay with how they look like this. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to bring an arrow. I want to introduce an arrow here. So I'll just draw this rectangle. I'll convert it to curve. Control Q to convert to curve. I'll just click it this way. Okay, I'll just delete the nodes and I'll give it a deep yellow. Okay, so I'll just duplicate it and bring it down to this guy here. Okay, it indicates that this is for this and the other one is for the other one. Beach trail. Okay, and so on and so forth. Okay, and that's for that. Alright, so we're done here. So I think that's for that. And the next thing I want to do is it's okay. Oh, the name of the pastor is not there. Okay, but before that, let me just bring in my date. Okay, so this is date I'll be using, date and time. Okay, Control C or Control X to cut it. Let me just cut it off. Control V to paste it. Okay, and this is no longer useful. Okay, so I'll just bring this and cut this apart. Click my Control K to cut apart. Wow, this design is taking a lot of time. I'm actually sending this design to my clients after these tutorials because the program is next month, on the 18th of next month. Okay, so I'll be using treble chat for this. Okay, I've not dropped video for a while now. I've been busy with school activities and all that, so I haven't had time to actually drop a new video. Okay, so I thought I should just bring this video up since my client called me to do this design. Okay, so now but by the grace of God, next month I'll be done my school stuff and I'll have enough time to attend to YouTube. Okay, so by next month I'm fully on ground. Sunday 18th September 2020. I find it difficult to interface both together, but now I think I will have time now. Alright, so this is trebuchet and I'll reduce the size. I think this is trebuchet. Have I? Okay, this is calibra, so I'll just change to trebuchet. Okay, and give it a bold. And that is for that. Give it a bold. And give it a bold. Alright. So the next thing I want to do is I want to just give it a rectangle. Let me just draw a rectangle over here. This way. I'm used to rectangle. So let me just give it a rectangle there. And I'll give it a deep yellow. Right click on it and I'll go to my ellipse tool. I'll draw an ellipse over here this way and I'll pick the guy here. So the next thing I want to do is I want to give the ellipse to a white color. I'll remove the outline. I'll click on click on my shift and click on this rectangle and I'll go to trim. So I'll just trim it this way. I'll just bring this down once with my keyboard direction keys. So I'll just reduce this and I'll give it a shadow. Okay, to reveal it, this is actually what I'll give this a shadow also, and this is cool. So I'll just power clip this yellow inside and I'll give this a white color. I'll page this down until I see my time and I'll bring this time here. I'll bring this, scale this up a little bit. Let me zoom it out so I can see better. I'll scale it up a little bit and this is just fine. I'll give this icon, I'll reduce this icon here and I'll put it here. I'll page it up, control page up to bring it to the front of the page, and I'll reduce the size of the icon and it looks better this way. Wow, it looks better this way. So I think I should bring this up a little bit. Okay, I think this looks better. And let me reduce this one a little bit also. Alright, so I'll bring this up. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to just draw a rectangle like this, and I will just click on my pick tool, hold my shift, hold this echo, and I'll cut it up. Okay, before that, let me go to my shadow. I'll remove this shadow. I want to clear the shadow up. Okay, I'll clear the shadow and I'll click on this rectangle. I'll click on my ellipse tool and I'll trim it also. I'll trim it this way. So I'll remove this rectangle now. It's trimmed. This I actually want it. I'll go to my shadow tool again and I'll give it a shadow and it looks good for me this way. Okay, so the date, I will just shift the date up. Okay, and it's white. So as usual, I want to give it a shadow. I think my shadow is just too much now, but that's how I actually wanted it. Okay, so I'll reduce this icon for the date, and I'll keep it even here. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is I want to introduce a darker color here. So I'll bring a dark color this way. I'll give it this kind of black, and I'll click on transparency and reduce the transparency, and that is just fine with me. Okay, so I'll just power clip this inside the image. Okay, so I'll just click my alternate, click on the image, and I'll page it down until it reviews what I actually want. Okay, so I'll just turn it this way, and it's cool. Okay, so this I actually wanted it, and this is okay. So the next thing I want to do is I'll bring in the minister's name. So the minister's name is Pastor Lincoln Omon. Oh, this name is okay. That's the pastor's name. So I'll just reduce it, and I'll place it this way. I will give it a 6. Okay, I'll give it a 6, and I think I should bring this up a little bit, and that's just fine. So it's the host, so I'll just bring host here, host, and I'll give it a 6 also. Okay, so now it's a 6. I'll just bring a bracket close and a bracket open. Okay, so now I'll just draw a rectangle over it. I'll draw a rectangle over it this way, and I'll give it a red color. I'll just page it down to review the remaining ones, and I'll just click on my shape tool and hold my mouse and drag a little bit. I'll give it a white color. And I'll give it a trebuchet. And I'll make it bold, and that is for that. So I'll pitch it up a little bit. I'll give this a shadow. Why so many shadow in this design? But it looks cool. So that is for that. So the next thing I want to do is wow, our image is actually coming out nicely and cool. Okay, so you can just play around the colors. You can just play around the colors yourself. Okay, so let me just bring a light flare. Okay, you can just click on your alternate, and you can mix this color that is up. You can mix it until you get the color of your choice that you want to be in this design. Okay, so now let's bring our light flare. I think I forgot one light flare, so I can just go to my desktop and locate my light flare. So yeah, my light flare. Okay, I think I should open this and click on this optical box. Okay, let me just bring this light flare here. All the resource will be in the description below. So this light flare, wow, it's too big, so I'll reduce this, and I'll zoom it, I'll scale it down. Okay, so this is how you use your light flare. I guess there's one of my clients that actually, all of my students that asked me how he's gonna use the light flare. Okay, so this is the light flare. It's usually black. Most of them usually have a dark background. So you go to transparency, and you go to the merge mode. You change the merge mode to screen, and it's off. You'll be seeing this light, this little light, which is the flare. That's what is left. So you just bring this up here, and you place it nicely here, and that is just okay for this design. Thank you for staying to the end of this design. I really appreciate you staying to the end. Please consider subscribing and stick around for more videos. Thank you. I really appreciate your time. This is huge for me. Thank you very much, YouTube. Thank you.